Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We have special guest, international gospel artist, Mr. Sterling Roberts, with us on the line, y'all. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know, I have to ask you this question here. You know,
Sure.
just going through, you know, we dig a lot into people's past. You know, we
Yeah.
want to know about this
Yeah,
artist
that's
and
it.
so on. And one of the
that's good to know.
things that we do know is that as a youngster, you went through a particular situation as far as health,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I want to know, during that period, was your faith as strong as it is today? You know, going through such a situation, because, you know, I've seen where people are going through, they say to believe, but then when they go through, their faith isn't as strong, you know, because I'm listening to the music you have and it speaks so strong, so powerful. So I'm like, wow, you know. So what was your faith, excuse me, like in that particular moment in your life?
Wow. So well, I was 8 years old at the time. So at that time I wasn't really particularly I wouldn't say interested, but I think I was so young that I wasn't even concerned about God or anything of the sort spiritually. My parents were, most of my mom, especially when we were going through that whole craziness. So for me, I kind of rode on the faith of my mom.
Right.
And then I started my journey of trying to, find out about who is this God has been trying to hunt me down for so long. From age 8. So, yeah, but from the healing parts, I was young. I was pretty young. Yeah, and then that whole thing started from there.
Wow. So, you know, at that time, what was the thoughts? Because you mentioned your mom and her faith. What was your thoughts then, and your thoughts now on her faith? Did that encourage you more to go deeper?
Yeah, actually, that was one of the catalysts for me to really start seeking God. Because I have this thing from since even when I was when I had that heart condition, when the doctors told me I had a heart of an 80-year-old man.
Wow.
And all these deteriorating things, and I was one of the healthy ones. Like,
Wow.
compared to the rest of my family, I wasn't the one in hospital. Everybody else was. Everybody else were. And when I was healed after that, when my mom and I, we weren't saved. My mom heard this time to go to God, and then when they carried me to get prayer, and then I came back. She changed her life. She made a promise to God that if you heal my son, I will serve you for the rest of my life. And so said, so done, because when we went back to the doctors, they were blown away because they saw this child some weeks ago who had a heart that was 80 plus years old, deteriorated, to see the heart now younger than the 8-year-old boy standing before them.
My God.
So, and doctors had nothing medically to explain what happened, and we know who know who did it.
Oh yes.
And my mom kept, of course. So my mom kept her word. She started building in her faith with the Lord, and I didn't come to the Lord as fast as that. I was, but one of the things I always said was like, why the Lord would always want to expose something to my, like, why would He always let my mom know or give her a dream of the stuff that I was in? You know, it's like, why you keep on telling her my business? You know,
right.
You know, I would go parties growing up, and it had gang fights, and I nearly, I could have got myself severely injured in one. I wasn't in the gang, but I just was in the middle of two gangs who met. And my mom, when I finally got home, escaping that, my mom said, "Where were you?" She said, "I dreamt that you were in the midst of a war."
My
And I was like,
goodness.
and I was just going, and she was just developing in her relationship, and I was just like, I lied and said, "I didn't go anywhere." Reach inside my room. I was like, "Why you telling her my business?" You know.
Right,
And
right.
and then the next thing too, to add to that, she always told God, and I remember a time she told God, like right in front of me, "Wherever he goes, you go."
It's powerful.
And I felt conviction every place that I wasn't supposed to go. I felt God asking me questions.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, and that's really one of the major catalysts for me to make the decision later on in my years to say, "Hey, what, I'm not running anymore."
Right, right. And you know what? I am so, and I know a whole lot of other people all across the
Yeah.
globe feel the same way. We're so grateful that you listened, because we wouldn't
Wow.
have this. We wouldn't have this
Wow.
amazing music. So
For
to
real.
know that you said, "You know what, Lord, I will follow." Man, that's such
Yeah.
an amazing decision you made, and I'm so glad
Wow.
you're here.
Wow, I so appreciate that, and I'm so glad I am too.
Right.
Those were some times.
Right. And you know what? And look where it led you. Not only are you
Yeah.
writing songs, you also
Yeah.
sang with some big names as well.
Yeah, that up to this day.
Please tell our audience this story, please.
Okay, so well, as you know, like before, when you were talking about being a worship leader, before being an artist,
Yes,
of course.
yes.
And and when I was going through those times, and God was just telling me that I'm going to have moments where I'm going to be trained and all these different things, and ended up being a worship leader in my church, the Apostles Ministries. And we ended up having the Apostles Ministries high on worship. This is one of the things, the focal points for the supernatural and for God bringing
Yes.
heaven on earth and all these necessary.
Yes.
So we are big on that over there. And what took place is because we were so, people who want to be able to match the spiritual with your talents. God tried to open doors where we would have, been background vocals to people like Miranda Curtis for a concert. Then
Right.
Anthony Brown and Group Therapy called us on. We ended up singing along and supporting them. And I was like, what is going on? Like,
Amazing.
amazing. I mean, Miranda is a sweetheart. This lady is a powerhouse and just so humble. And we were able to provide support for her for over an hour, probably 2 hours, with her in our nights of worship where we would have annually in our church.
Right.
We had the distinct pleasure to be to support J. Thomas with worship that lasted for some hours. Well, and the presence of the Lord showed up in
Wow.
such a magnificent way. Healings and all whatever you could think of took place,
Right.
and I was just blown away. So it's good to be obedient and also be in the place where He wants you to be, so that He could actually take you through the steps of supporting and being a part of the kingdom with some major figures. But
Wow.
yeah,
Just hearing your story, from being young, being ill, and just your mom's, faith driving you, to is it fair to say get more focus on our Heavenly Father?
yeah,
To pen and songs, doors opening for
Yeah.
you to be with other artists. This
Yeah.
is such an amazing. It's like hearing a movie. But
Yeah.
in God's grace.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's everything what I'm seeing, even from that time to now and continuing, is a step by step of like his successive yeses.
Yes.
I call it.
Yes.
And making sure that I'm in the spot, because I would have never been there if I didn't take the first step. I would have never in my wildest
God.
dreams be able to shake hands and take photos with these people, and now have a relationship with many of these people. I mean, there are many others who I got in contact with, like Tamaya J, who's now like a family friend. I'm thinking of just like people just connected with me from not just only on the side of the west, but like from London side.
Right,
I mean, I'm just completely blown away. But that didn't happen just like that. It wasn't like, okay, I wake up one morning and everybody found you. No, I had to be in a position,
yes,
so that God could be able to use me. You know. So and that's my encouragement to people. Is like, say yes. You don't know what it's leading you to.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and with God, it's always a yes. The scripture tells us that you fall into His kingdom ways, and it's your answer will always be yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
You wouldn't be sure what He would do, but you'll be very sure it's going to be something way better than your thoughts and your plans.
Yes. Oh man. So you know you have to go on into your other single, right?
Oh, okay,
you know you have to speak about that one. Because you're taking our dialect international, you know, and I love it.
Wow! I this song keeps on hitting me. This song keeps on hitting me for like a home run for real. Agogeya was way different to Most High.
Yeah.
Inspired, given to me by God, of course, but done in a way to make me. Let me put a precursor to that. Let me start from how the whole thing took place.
Yes.
In the month of September 2019, I was asked by a band, a musical band named Version, to minister at a concert that was going to be held in November of that year. So they wanted to provide that musical support to me for my set. They gave me about 30 minutes, and they want me to bring all my music at least a month prior so that they could practice it and whatnot, so for the event. That time, Most High was already in process, in production,
right,
and I was already going years of just creativity and new songs being birthed. So, I had all these melodies inside me, right?
Right.
And one day driving out of the of our garage driveway, one particular melody just jumped out, and all of a sudden, like, Agogeya, and I was like,
wow.
And I sang that for a solid 30 minutes, like half an hour, just singing that chorus. And I said, wow, that feels. I like how it sounds. I like how it feels, right? But I find it was very unorthodox because it's not proper English, is what you know as our West Indian dialect, broken, you know. So I was like,
I love it.
Agogeya, not knowing that was the bait that the Lord was using to talk to me.
Wow.
Because the whole thing about it is, He utilized that, and then some days after I said, here's what, let me don't procrastinate, let me go and start writing the song. So that happened this Saturday, and then the Monday I started to write. I felt led to write the intro of the song, and the intro was, if you are not the same, then why can't I see the change? You know the words I say, to love me is to obey. And I was like, oh, suddenly I don't feel like I want to write the song.
Oh man. Wow.
Because
powerful lyrics.
Yeah, because you heard, if you are not the same, then why can't I see the change? I was like, oh, I'm starting to feel where this might be going. That whole song from the beginning to the end started to feel like a father talking to a son, but in our Trinidadian lingo.
Right.
Really confronting me about the worship that I give as in comparison to the worship that He requires. Like He was telling me, you so desire to do this, and I don't have no problem with putting you to do this because I've created you to do this, to sing before the people, to minister to me before the people.
Yes.
But you failing to realize the worship that you giving me is not the worship I want. The worship I want is a total thing. You keep on giving me performance, but you ain't giving me a heart. It's like you could give me the performance, you could give me everything there for that day, but there are things that you hiding from me, and you're not surrendering that to me. So if you want a song, let me give you a song.
Wow.
That's why when you heard the beginning is Jesus, tell me right this down. The worship that you want come from my life is my submission to him is all on. And so it's like, oh, so he said you want a song for the event? No problem. Write this down. And he spoke to me, and I was crying for those 3 to 4 days trying to finish that song.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't want to sing the song in front of the people. It's kind of making me look exposed. But only to realize is like that was what he wanted out.
Right.
And that song was to correct me. And long and short, on the day of the concert, after practicing with the band, I can't count on my fingers the responses as far as the people with the consistent response, mind you, that this makes me want to rejoice, wild out, and feel convicted at the same time.
Right.
And,
it's a powerful
and that's
song.
That's how the whole song came about.
You know, I've been seeing the response of it. You know, I mean, just hearing the song alone, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, like, wow, this is one of my kin. You know, a fellow Trinidadian, you know, and I'm like, what? Like, wow, this is, and I never thought I would heard, what was that? Hear.
Yeah,
what is that? Green verb, y'all. To hear our, you know, hear our dialect in a gospel song. You know, people tend to be so traditional and so on, and to hear our dialect, you know, in a gospel song, it really, it resonates so well with the young folks, with other Caribbean islanders and so on, because you're saying something we can understand outside of the you know, the typical language, you know. So speaking to family, and they're like, man, I love this song, I love this song, it speak to me, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let him know. Would you say it was your ego a little bit that was hampering you, that bothered you so much before you went out to minister the song?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. That and knowing, it's my ego as far as being able to do the song like before people, but then I think the Holy Spirit, thank God for the Spirit of God that trumps your ego.
Yes.
That goes above your ego, that takes that step up, because after all that, I don't really want to, if I really say that I am a person who's supposed to be considered a worshiper, I wouldn't want to really be articulating music out there that doesn't convict me nor the people.
Right. Because I
don't want to sing anything away. Yeah.
Right. So it's about correction.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, it's totally different to Most High. So some people have this tendency to believe, well, you know, Most High is this vertical song, you know, directly talking about worship and honoring God, and Most High has also a deeper meaning to it, but we'll leave that right there for now. But as far as Agagea is concerned, Agagea wasn't vertical, Agagea is internal. Yeah, Agagea is internal. So it's like you, if you want that worship, I'm gonna have to face these things in you that is not giving me it.
Right.
And everybody has to face that. Everybody, the best of the best that we might have on our top tier.
Right.
Has to face that same self-examination.
Wow.
So.
It's such a powerful song. So would you say it's a song that poke at everyone's ego that listen to this song? You know, it's gonna pull out all those little hang-ups. Would you say it's a song like that?
Yes, it's twofold. It will do that. Besides people getting caught up with how it sounds, like the whole beat and everything, when you start taking in the lyrics itself as with the beat, especially there's one part that continuously hits me. I have a standard, don't you know that I am God? You want all of me. You want all of me, but everything you giving me back is partial.
Jesus, that line was powerful. Yes.
When I wrote down that, I felt like it was, and the thing is, it was like God saying, you want everything, and I giving you everything. You telling me you giving me everything, but when I check your offering coming up short.
Woo! Man, yes, wow. You know, you have to introduce that song. You know, you have to introduce. Oh my gosh, that just give me goosebumps, man.
Wow. Woo! Imagine, I just hear it all. That's like, I was like, I feel the weight of those lines, like for real.
Goodness.
You know, wow. So listeners, what more can I say? But it's an honor. I hope you enjoy it too, but I hope it's twofold, that you enjoy it and it really settles into your heart. Right here on the Visionary Talk radio program, it's an honor to release second single to you called Agogeya.
Yes. All right, y'all heard it. Make sure and stay locked on. International gospel artist Mr. Sterling Roberts, y'all. Check this out.
Yeah.
Call the assembly. Yes, I am.